How is everybody doing today? So now we have our replay versus Burning Abyss stun. I mentioned it in the last one if you saw that, so well, no surprises here. And if you guys paid attention, I did say pretty much what happens. So without further ado, let's kind of get this underway. So I'm not a big fan of going against Burning Abyss. I don't know what it is, but like Brock just always seemed to wreck me with it. My luck versus the deck was just not good at all, really. So I mean, wasn't too thrilled when I just saw that I had got to go up against it. But nonetheless, so starting out turn 1, we see that we end up making him actually end with a set 1 and a Beatrice. He does have his follow-up play kind of set up, so it's not necessarily an ideal play, but we have a play nonetheless. So in perm on our core, we lose that, but luckily we still have plenty in our hand. Getting to our hurts. Galaxy Soldier here. And now we're going to use hurts and get our core back, because we can just pitch our driver, because Gamma can use it from the graveyard. May as well have our core in hand for our follow-up play when inevitably things do not go good. Burning Abyss, if you know anything about it, well, Farfa's kind of a pain to deal with. So then banishing my cards. End phase, get it back, but Almirage Nova, not really a powerful board, especially when you know he has his follow-up turn. Play everything you will. Just moving forward as he completely decides to go off. I could have chained it there, but he's just going to get the attack anyway. I mean, I guess it would have forced the replay, so I would have saved that 1,000. That's really the only difference. It would have forced the replay, he wouldn't have attacked, and then we would have 51 instead of 41. Going into now, we want to force the IP because we know he's just going to go into like a unicorn bounce breakthrough skill there, so it negates that. We still get out our mega fleet and his backjack. Moving forward, bunch more Burning Abyss things. We're really in a bad spot. We fell behind early, which you just can't do versus Burning Abyss. And then we see he used a graveyard effect, so we're just trying to claw and hold whatever strings we can to try and survive. There we did put our driver in defense on purpose, because we put it in attack and he wasn't able to get anything out over 2,500 attack. He wouldn't, and it would get banished, and we didn't want that. We're kind of hoping he attacks over them and we can put it in the graveyard to keep our other ones live. Not that it would necessarily matter, seeing as if he negates it, it's kind of good game. Or I mean, if we draw into our Gamma, wow, him out of it. Sorry for that one, guys. But yeah, so don't really have a whole lot going for us here. We got a pop 1. Let him do that. Go ahead and pop his Zeraboros. Try to survive. Again, it's just one turn at a time, going for what we can. Take the 25 from Beatrice and top deck into our ever faithful Kaiju. So let's go ahead and go to game 2. We decide to go first because set up a few disruptions, especially knowing his back row. We sided in cards like Twin Twisters, and obviously you see we did not see it. So trying to go first and just set up disruption so he can't do a whole lot, and instead I mean, we could have pitched it, summoned it, brought it back, went into a rampage, mill hers and core, and then get core to hand for a follow-up, or normal it, search out your overflow and hit a pop 2, but I mean, we could have, yeah, I don't know. So we could have ended with like a pop 2, our impermanence, and our Gamma, since we'd have no lambda, because we would have used his effect and not been able to. Unless we special summon it, went into a Nema just by pitching it, and then did everything else the same. But nonetheless, we'd have no hand, no follow-up, nothing good going. So he sets 4 against my set 1. And yeah, not really sure at this point. I know he's got a whole bunch of negation, a whole bunch of disruptions. And we just got to play it smart at this point. So pitching one to special summon. kind of going for the play we did before, or that I just kind of mentioned, going into our Anima now. Overload Fusion, because now we can benefit from popping cards. He chains his Fiend Griefing, which he shuffles a card from my graveyard back into the deck, and then sends a Fiend to the graveyard, so it's a free Burning Abyss effect, and it just happens to make my Overload miss because I don't have enough targets. He sends his Backjack so he can fix his hand. He's then going to use his Backjack to put a Breakthrough Skill on field. That card's actually really good. I'm surprised it doesn't see more play. So we pass turn because we can't do a whole lot. Still in a bad position. We know he has a Breakthrough Skill, 2 in hand, and he's Trap Tricking into a Dynamiscus. So Dynamiscus, which he actually uses right away to set up his hand. He didn't do that because he wanted my card gone. He did it because he wanted his Tour Guide in hand for a follow-up play. So now we see him Tour Guide, and we go ahead and just Gamma. I didn't want him to have the monster on board, period. At least now we draw into a starter. We're whittling away at it. We knew he had the Breakthrough Skill, 2 more set, and 2 in hand. So here's where it's going to get interesting. We can summon our core, and he's going to negate it with Breakthrough Skill. We could summon our core, and he's probably going to negate it with something else. So core in this situation is not really ideal at all. I mean, he attempts to negate, I guess, Breakthrough Skills targeting a face-up card. We could have summoned it and chained our Overflow, banish core and the one engrave, pop the other 2, and then we'd still have our search, which would be amazing if we were playing Cyberload Fusion, but we're not. So there really wouldn't be a whole lot of good reasoning to do a play like that. So we're going to search cyberdragon Fear. Yeah, Fear. So I told you guys I search him out and use him in a plethora of ways, and this is one of them. When I don't really want an effect, when I don't want him to really feel threatened, when I don't want him to need to pop my stuff. It's a 1600 beater with 2100 attack. We go for our why can't I think right now? Battle phase, just to try and start poking away. And he uses another Fiend Griefing. We're going to, however, chain our Overflow, get rid of it. So he has nothing to shuffle back. And then he imperms our Fear, so it goes to 1100 attack. That's fine by me. Summoning Fear, he's going to go into our battle phase now. Sure. Oh, actually, just kidding. So Imperm was last turn. He didn't realize the 500 attack, and he attacked, so that's why his Rhino went away. And then he gets to do a few things at least. Bring that out, attack, both go to the graveyard, crashing them, and special summon. So now, it's not as bad as it looked before. He has 2 sets still. We know one is Breakthrough Skill. I don't believe we knew the other one as of yet. So we're going to go ahead and not do anything. 1 Scarm, 1 in hand. We have infinite impermanence with nothing in hand. We draw into our hurts, so we're just going to set it. Move forward a little bit. We're going to go ahead and negate his Tour Guide. Hurts effect, getting our Cyberdragon. We could have got Fear back and just normal summoned it, but why? Because then we potentially conflict with a card that we draw, and OG Cyberdragon has more attack, so special summon that instead. Repair Plant now. Now we're going to go for our core. We can start applying the pressure. Even if he has a negate, we can go ahead and force it, which he did, which we knew actually. And then we go for 2 into our Anaconda. And this works out really, really good. I was not paying attention, but do you guys remember turn 1 when we just happened to use Overload Fusion? And if you saw my deck profile, you know I am only playing the 1 Overload Fusion. So we're not even going to be able to use our Verde effect. Luckily on summon, he Dynamiscuses and banishes it. And, well, negs himself pretty hard in the process. So he can't do anything. He goes to Tour Guide attacks, and we draw into our emergency. So now we can banish our core, summon our Naxter to bring back our OG Cyberdragon. Going for our Cyberdragon Hurts. Into our Seeger, Hurts effect to get our Naxter back to our hand. And now battle phase, and takes him out. And then Cyberdragon attacks. And there, oh, actually, I didn't even realize at the time he took damage for Seeger, and he definitely should not have. So he should actually have 2,500 attack or life points left, which isn't going to matter. Guess I didn't even notice that because he did it all after OG attacked. My bad, his bad, someone's bad. Anyway, you'll see why it doesn't matter. So set 1 pass. Now we're gonna go for our repair plant. Galaxy Soldier. Discarding 2 special summon. Going into our Nova. And here we could detach to summon our Naxter, who would then in turn summon Cyberdragon. But we're just going to go ahead and go right for Infinity because we have game. 2,700 attack. This is why it would not have mattered even if he had 2,500 attack left. Sorry guys, I am like falling asleep here for you guys. If you haven't noticed, I do most of my videos really late at night, and I work in a few hours, so yeah. But anyway, so we snuck game 2 out of it, and we ended up winning, so that's really, really cool. Moving on into the top 8 of a Toon Chaos tournament. Hopefully we can win that box of Toon Chaos, pull some Starlights, some cool cards. Maybe we'll open it up on camera, since we backed out of doing the case for you guys due to financial decisions and the option of keeping it sealed as a better investment. So we're going to go ahead and hit that right away because we just don't want to deal with anything. We see our twisters this time. So it actually works out really nice because he sets 2 and passes. We have twisters in hand, and we have core emergency, which is the OTK. So we have our OTK, we have our twisters to clear his board, and we win this game, right? Well, let's go ahead and twisters, pitch our Nibiru because we're not going to need it at this point. And he judgments. So worst case scenario now, I'm thinking he has 2 hand traps and we're in a slight amount of trouble. Not too bad. But let's move forward. Oh, my mouse is going crazy on me. So all kinds of stuff going wrong right now. Anyway, moving forward. Emergency to search out our hurts. We're going to normal our core. Obviously going for a Galaxy Soldier play, and it is a negate. So that's one of the 2 things that we said. We figured worst case scenario, he would have breakthrough skill, infinite permanence, something like that, a negate, and possibly a hand trap. So he negates that, but we have a follow-up. We have a different play. He has 4,000 life points, which means Verte Rampage is enough. Hers effect, you could absolutely wait, and then when you pitch with your Rampage, and then use that Hers' effect, and then get your Naxter or your core back to your hand, which would be the smarter play. But at this point, I felt confident that we had game. So Rampage effect going there. And game 3 is quick, painless, easy. Burning Abyss stun. Not a deck I want to play again. And, well, moving forward, I guess we'll see who we play in the top 8. And then I will show you guys. Until then, have a good one, guys.